Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for coming to the webinar today. So today's topic will be on insure your tomorrow critical illness. So I think without further ado, we will start the webinar lah. Okay. So a bit of background information about myself. Okay, my name is Kara and I'm actually a relationship manager from Boon King branch lah. So basically, I've been in this industry for about 7 years, and my forte is to actually help clients diversify their portfolio as well as wealth accumulation. Okay, so something about our company corporate profile. We are basically established in 1975, and we have been the first in terms of stockbroking business lah. So basically, for Phillip Capital, we have about 1 million clients worldwide, as well as a AUM of more than 35 billion worldwide. Okay, and then basically we are the largest market share for retail investors, as well as the largest CFD provider. Okay, so we have actually a growing global presence throughout in Singapore, China, as well as Australia. And basically some key information about our company is that we actually do wealth management, stocks, ETFs, as well as bonds lah. Our insurance partners include Manulife, Tokio Marine, as well as Income. And these are some of the unit trust partners that we work with. Okay, so without further ado, let us proceed with the webinar. So today it will be about critical illness insurance. So just a short description on what is a critical illness insurance. Basically, it's a long-term policy that covers a list of serious illnesses lah. So basically, the policy itself will actually do a payout of a lump sum benefit should you experience a covered illness, right? So this payment can be used to cover medical bills, mortgages, or even rent payments that may be required as a result of an illness. So today, what we will be covering on roughly will be understanding what is CI and its financial implications, advantages of early planning and navigating CI insurance, as well as understanding some policy options. So today will be more on the fundamentals of what is CI lah. So basically for critical illness insurance, it provides coverage for heart attack, stroke, organ transplants, as well as cancer. Okay. And basically there are several kinds of plans up there that you are able to opt for to get covered. So many people have a life insurance plan and they simply just add the critical illness plan as a rider to the policy. So whereas for some other people, they prefer a standalone critical illness plans. While for some of them, they have a hospitalization plan only. So CI protection can come based on a standalone plan, critical illness as a rider for a term insurance, or a hospitalization plan. Okay, so how does CI work? So basically, it's often mistaken for life insurance, but actually critical illness will do a payout if you actually get a specific medical condition or injuries listed within the policy. So it's very important to read the policy illustration for you to understand what are the coverage that this plan actually covers. So throughout the covers, there are actually many categories of illnesses, and then they actually have limitations as well to some conditions. So you will need to it's important to read the plan, the policy illustration, so that you do know what are the coverages and what are the limitations. So the common illnesses covered would normally include the cancer, heart attack, as well as stroke. So there's usually a waiting period of around about 90 days or so after taking on the critical illness policy lah. So what are the advantages of early planning? Is because if CI is actually planned early, it also means that the family will have coverage for expenses in the event of something unfortunate, or in the event of someone, the insured actually suffering from a critical illness or a long-term disability. So it will be lesser of a financial burden in that case lah. So these types of condition usually means that you'll be unable to continue working, or you might require support for expenses, bills, as well as modifications that may actually need to be made lah. Okay. So basically, the reason why some people are very particular about critical illness coverage is because they are worried of forking out of pocket expenses with based on their own financial means lah. So basically, unlike other healthcare benefits, workers generally bear the entire cost of the critical illness plan. So basically, that makes it a money saver for companies as well as workers. So basically, critical illness cover could be right for you if you will not be able to cover your outgoing expenses if you become ill or disabled and can no longer work. So it actually provides you and your family a safety net during this difficult time, and allow you to recover and focus on recovery in the meantime. So things to know about critical illness is basically you need to know about the conditions that are covered in the plan and the differences from regular medical insurance plans. So basically, just some statistics from Health Hub. The death statistics in Singapore, basically number one, it will be cancer, and then followed by pneumonia as well as heart diseases lah. So this is the statistics that is actually shown from the Singapore Cancer Society. Basically, the most common cancer affecting both men as well as women from 2017 to 2021. So this is something which you might want to take note of as well. So basically, with the increasing amount of cancer that is actually happening in Singapore, the statistics are actually shown that about 39 people are diagnosed with cancer and 15 die from cancer every day lah. So basically, this is something whereby if you can actually get a prevention from and protection from this, it is best to get covered when you are actually in the pink of health lah. So basically, does CI count as a health insurance? So for this itself, right, there's no coverage for medical conditions that aren't specifically listed in the policy details lah. So critical illness plans are considered supplement coverage rather than a comprehensive health insurance. So I would say for CI plans, they are specifically for covered illnesses, whereas for hospitalization plans, it's more on hospital needs when you are actually admitted into the hospital. So the focus point is actually different for both. So for CI policies, they actually do not cover chronic conditions such as diabetes, asthma, as well. So they also do not cover pre-existing conditions. So at the purchase of the critical illness plan, basically the insured is actually required to actually declare any pre-existing conditions for the underwriter to actually take into consideration whether they want to onboard this insured or not lah. So it's always recommended that all details from the conditions applicable to CI must be perused rigorously lah. So waiting period, and then there are also exclusions as well as inclusions, premium and term, the claims process, benefits, as well as the age of the coverage. So these are some actually statistics from the Life Insurance Association Singapore that actually include the top expenses upon diagnosis of CI lah. So one of the pointers is that having a CI protection will help cushion the financial impact, especially from a sudden loss in income. So because of an advancement in medical technology, right? It is actually shown that people tend to live longer as of now because of advancement in technology. People tend to receive better healthcare, especially in Singapore, and therefore it actually increased the mortality rates in our country as well. So now we will look at understanding the policy options. Okay, is one payout sufficient? Okay, so basically, like I mentioned earlier on, medical advancements have improved survival rates, but that also means that the CI could still recur. It will not be a one-time thing, right? At the same time, we also can't rule out the possibility of a second or third CI. So ultimately, guarding yourself against multiple critical illnesses, therefore important and pivotal for us, right? So on the right-hand side is actually the statistics on the critical illness likely to recur again for the cancer, heart attack, as well as the stroke. So of course, we all do not want to deal with cancer recurrence, especially when we have to deal with emotional and financial stress at the same time, right? So what is critical illness insurance? Basically, what it does is it provides a lump sum payout when the insured is actually diagnosed with any of the covered medical conditions. So the covered medical conditions, like I mentioned earlier, would be actually indicated on the policy illustration, where they will actually indicate what are the covered medical conditions, right? And then basically why you need critical illness insurance is basically to continue paying forward the medical costs, especially for now, medical inflation is very real and it will only inflate in years to come. So it's very important for us to be updated with our critical illness coverage, supplement living expenses, as well as taking care of dependents. So the type of insurance policy, like I mentioned earlier, will be a standalone policy itself. Number two will be a standalone rider. And lastly, it will be a accelerated rider. So factors to consider when taking up an a critical illness plan would be, do you want to mix the critical illness rider with something else, or you just want a plan that actually stand alone by itself, right? And then you need to indicate how long do I want to be insured or to pay the premium, because for critical illness plans, you do have to read your policy illustration. Some of them are actually covered to a certain age, like for example, age 85 or so. So you need to read properly when the plan will actually cover you until. Okay, and what is the coverage needed for all this critical illness, and how much is the budget for this coverage? These are all questions that need to be pondered about when you take up a critical illness plan. Okay. So this is actually an example of case study of how critical illness actually helps to relieve the burden of in terms of financially. So basically, this person called Vincent, age 35, is a lecturer who is a non-smoker and is married with a newborn twins. So basically, to get himself covered as well as his children, he actually plans to take on this critical illness plan. And because he actually got this plan, he has a sum insured of 100,000, and he chooses a coverage period of 30 years, right? So coverage a period of 30 years would mean that if Vincent is 35 years old now, this plan will only cover him until he is 65, right? So at the age of 35, Vincent actually purchased this critical illness plan with 100,000 sum insured. And because he has been forwarding his premiums on a religious basis, at the age of 45 years old, Vincent actually is warded into ICU for 5 days due to a viral infection. So one of the benefits of this CI plan will be an intensive care unit, meaning that the insurance company will actually pay out 20% of the sum insured, which is 20,000 for Vincent to actually have a speedy recovery for this viral infection, right? And Vincent actually carries out his premium all the way until 50 years old. And at the age of 50, he actually suffers a stroke with permanent neurological deficit, right? So there will actually be a severe CI benefit payout of 300% of the sum insured. So 300,000 will be paid out to Vincent for this stroke condition. And if you actually look throughout 55 years, 56 years all the way, there will be certain diagnoses that Vincent actually faces, and he will be able to do a claim subsequently just by purchasing this critical illness rider. So I mean, in general, for this case study, I feel that this conclusion itself would be to actually get protected lah, because the critical illness is not something that we are able to foresee, but rather we are buying or purchasing it with the intention that nothing happens to us ultimately, and we can be in the pink of health lah. But this is something that will be a very big pocket amount, and most of the clients would prefer to actually get coverage prior to any pre-existing conditions before the purchase of the plan itself. So reasons to actually take up a CI now if you do not have one would be for CI premium, it actually increases with the age. So the usually for most insurance plans, the older that you get, the more expensive the premium lah. So ultimately, it's still advisable to actually lock in at a younger age. And then secondly, I would say that based on statistics, is generally less likely to have a pre-existing that could exclude you from coverage of higher premiums lah. So it's always good to actually get covered where you do not have any conditions first, right? And then lastly, there will be a sudden income loss and strain on family funds if there is any events that might happen. So prior to situations like this, it's also good to actually get covered before anything like this will happen lah. So plans that you might want to consider to counter all these reasons would be a CI plan or integrated shield plan. So this is in general, I think that it's always advisable to actually purchase a CI plan, because actually basically for the younger you are, it actually helps to increase the health risk lah, as well as the premiums, like I mentioned earlier. And I mean for now, basically modern lifestyles and diseases could also contribute to health issues. So it does not mean that if you are young, then you will not face such problems lah, because now due to lifestyle, stress and work, we are also facing a lot of external factors that might create things that makes us stress in life, and ultimately it does implicate our lifestyle as well, right? So also buying or purchasing a critical illness when you are younger would also be able to allow you to actually enjoy a lower premium. So basically these are our social media platforms, and if you would like to actually know more about Phillip Investor Center and what we do, please scan the QR code and follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, Telegram as well as the Poems 3.0 to know about the latest promotions or campaigns that we have for now lah. So this is my contact number as well as my email. If you actually have any questions, feel free to drop me an email lah, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Someone raised the hand, right? Jay. Yeah, hi. Would you like to unmute yourself? Or you can type in the comments box or anything that you want to ask me or yeah, Jay, do you have a question for me? If you have, you can actually write down on the comment section, or you would like to unmute yourself. If not, in another option would be you can actually reach out to me via email or phone call as well lah. I will be happy to assist. Okay, if there is no more questions for me, then I will end the webinar now. Thank you all for your time.